This is a Getty podcast.
The nights are getting chilly and the days are getting shorter, which can only mean one thing. Saturnalia is right around the corner. Welcome to If Objects Could Talk, a podcast where art and artifacts get to leave the museum vault and tell their side of the story. This week, we're helping you get ready for the biggest holiday of the season. Saturnalia, of course. We're joined by a Roman doll who was carved from bone in the 3rd century CE. She's only about 8 inches tall, or the size of a small pencil case. And she's here in this special holiday episode to guide us through the hottest gifts this year. And every year, for the past 2,000 years.
Whoa.
But first, an old friend has slithered out from her vault again to help remind us of the holiday spirit and Saturnalia traditions.
You don't celebrate Saturnalia? Oh, that's too bad. You would love it. Saturnalia was a week-long winter festival. Time to celebrate the winter solstice, the promise of a bountiful spring harvest, and to honor the god of wealth, time, and agriculture, Saturn. There was feasting, partying, relaxing, and repeat. Saturnalia was all about ease. Even social norms and rules were lightened. For instance, gambling was illegal, but during Saturnalia, a little bet didn't hurt anyone. And dress codes were also loosened, which was disappointing because fashion is very important. People also exchanged gifts, which is how I bring this back to me.
Okay, Snake. You've had your episode. Now it's my turn. Let's give a warm welcome to me. Hello, everyone, and yo, Saturnalia. That's how we wish each other a happy Saturnalia in Latin. I am so thrilled to be out of storage. Now, I may be a 1,700-year-old Roman doll, give or take a few decades, but giving the perfect gift is a timeless art. I understand gift giving from the inside out because I was once a gift for a very lucky child, just like the snake bracelet. But that's not what we're here to talk about right now. Like the snake mentioned, Saturnalia was the holiday of the Roman calendar, and gifts were a big part of making it special. So today, I'm here to give you a hand this holiday season. But not literally. My arms went missing ages ago. You'll need to be the one carrying the bags as you shop till you drop, and I'll help you out with my ultimate Saturnalia gift guide. To prepare this guide for you, I've read all 223 Saturnalia gift poems by Marshall. I've scoured the best comic plays and philosophical texts of my day, all to make sure you're getting the most bang for your coin. You still use those, right? Anyway, let's dive in. First up on my most excellent guide, gifts to light up the dark winter nights. Saturnalia started on December 17th and lasted through the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. So, of course, Romans loved gifting lamps, candles, and candlesticks. Some even had many wicks, because who wants one little flame when you can have 6? Like many winter holidays now, light was an important way Romans celebrated Saturnalia. Light meant warmth, joy, and hope that the long nights would soon get shorter. And honestly, a cozy glow makes every occasion sparkle. Now, not every gift had to be fancy. Who doesn't love a good gag gift? Poets wrote about people giving funny little trinkets and even prank presents, like intentionally bad poetry.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm allergic to flowers. Chew.
Saturnalia was the perfect time to be silly, switch things up a bit. Another Saturnalia tradition was that people switched roles, especially the rich and the poor. But can you imagine parents acting like kids and kids acting like parents?
Ooh.
If you could swap roles with anyone for a day, who would you pick?
You. Me? Well, I pick you.
You'd fit right in with the Romans. Okay, now for some rapid-fire all-time favorites. For the food lovers, I suggest roasted nuts, cheese, sausages, boar, and sweet cakes. For the fashion fans, can't go wrong with hairpins, rings, togas, and delicate perfume bottles. For the writers and the thinkers, never enough scrolls, pens, and pretty sheets of papyrus. Oh, don't forget a good book. I recommend Homer's Iliad or Virgil's Aeneid. For the gamers, step away from the headsets and streaming devices and pick up some dice. The Romans called them tali and tesserae, perfect for a lively game. Just shake and toss. Pro tip, for a guide on how to play like a real Roman, listen to our All's Fair in Love and Games episode. And for the animal lovers, why not a puppy to snuggle with on a cold winter's night? Marshall wrote about a little Gallic puppy who was so adorable and playful, he couldn't even finish describing it in one page. Now imagine giving something that cute as a gift. You definitely make it a holiday to remember.
Aww.
During Saturnalia, Romans gave gifts to everyone, friends, family, even the people who worked for them. The idea was simple, to share joy and kindness. The best thing about Saturnalia wasn't how fancy the gifts were. It was that they came from the heart. I think the poet Marshall said it best. Give as you are able. Now's your turn to tell me about your favorite gifts to give this holiday and every holiday. Something you make? Something to eat? Something that makes someone smile? Remember, the best gifts don't need to cost an arm and a leg. They just need a little bit of thought and a lot of love. Well, my little Saturnalians, that's our holiday gift guide. Whether it's a glowing lamp, a silly poem, or a kind note, if you follow my guidance, your gifts are sure to light up the season, just like the Romans did thousands and thousands of years ago.
I hope you feel inspired to give like a Roman. To see photos of the doll and more gifting inspiration from the Getty Villa collection, visit the episode's webpage at getty.edu/podcasts or at the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed this show, share it with your friends and leave us a comment or review on your favorite podcast app. We're also hard at work on season 2. So if you have questions or objects you want to hear come alive in future episodes, write to us or send us a voice memo at podteam@getty.edu. This episode was written by Tokara Elise and produced by Zoe Goldman. Kelly Brennan voiced the doll. Theme music, mixing, and sound design by Alexandra Kalinowski. Christopher Sprinkle is executive producer. Special thanks to Felix Rice, as well as curators Ken LaPatin, Judith Barr, and Nicole Budrovich. Catch you next time.